All right, Ms. Wilson, Mr. Sartz, did you want both of these? Let's call, I think we can call both these together in regards to the pre-sentence report. But then we'll address each one differently for restitution purposes, et cetera.
I think that's appropriate.
Yeah, so I think that'll work. And then let me know if it's 182. If you want to make a record on any of the other, which file we're talking about.
Gotcha.
Go ahead. So we're on the record in 23-1928 and 23-02233. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Aaron Carson. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson.
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Mr. Sartz.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jacob Sartz, the fourth assistant public defender here on behalf of Mr. Carson. Mr. Carson is present at the council table. He's standing to my right.
And sir, you are Aaron Carson, is that correct? All right, thank you. This is the time set for a pretrial or a sentencing in the matter. I have had the opportunity to read the pre-sentence report, and the pre-sentence report on both files. It looks about the same. I want to make sure that we're dealing with the same pre-sentence report. That would be a pre-sentence report done by Brendan Hanna. Mr. Sartz, have you had the opportunity to go through the pre-sentence report on both files with your client?
We have, Your Honor, and we have no additions, deletions, or corrections to either report.
All right. Ms. Wilson, is there restitution on either file? That's a file 23-01928. I don't see any restitution on that file. And 23-02233.
There's no restitution on either file.
All right, thank you. Allocution on either, if you want to address allocution one at a time or on either file, let me know, Mr. Sartz, but allocution.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll just proceed with the joint allocution
on
both files. Mr. Carson is very sorry for his poor decision making. He understands that he needs to work on working through some challenges he had with substance abuse. Respectfully, Your Honor, I think the recommendations of credit for time served here are very fair and very appropriate, given Mr. Carson's age. Also, he is financially indigent at this time, Your Honor, so he has very limited means to pay his financial responsibilities at this point, but he does have a stable place to stay. He will follow up with the CMH for additional counseling. He has been pursuing efforts on his own to maintain sobriety, and he will continue to do so. He's been taking advantage of opportunities to further his education about how to maintain his sobriety while in jail. So respectfully on both files, Your Honor, I would request the court to go along with recommendations, give him credit for 83 days and 84 days respectively. And Mr. Carson will respectfully pursue his own sobriety once he's released. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Wilson, anything you'd like to say on either file 23-01928 or 23-02233 on either file?
The people will leave it to the court's discretion on both files, Your Honor.
Mr. Carson, is there anything you'd like to say to the court before the court passes sentence?
No, sir.
Thank you. Well, let's start on 1928. I've had the opportunity to see this is for a use of controlled substance for guilty plea on September 27th, 2024. I've had the opportunity to see the pre-sentence report written by probation officer Hanna, and I agree with the pre-sentence report and the allocution of sentence. I'd ask you, Mr. Carson, where were you between 2015 and 2022? If you recall, the years 2015 and the year's 2022.
Where was I?
Yeah,
In Lansing, I believe.
all right. But your CCH is pretty consistent, and then between 2015 and 2022, there's a break there. And if you were incarcerated, that's one reason. Whatever you did during that time seems to have worked.
Yeah, I was here. My mom passed away in 2021.
All right.
And things kind of got a little raggedy for a minute.
Because between 2015 and 2022,
Yeah.
it appears you were out of trouble. And then coming in back as to 2022, as your indication is, things took a turn.
Yeah. Couple of bad decisions to make.
No, whatever you were doing in between 2015 and 2022 seems to have worked. All right. And so that should be at least a stalwart as you go forward concerning some of these measures and some of these sobriety stuff as to what's working and what's not. Okay. You're not a kid, and I'm not going to treat you like a kid. All right. That's you. And you've certainly seen your semblance of jail and the Department of Corrections on some level. And so I do agree with the pre-sentence report that I'll follow the judgment of sentence on 23-01928, that you spend 84 days in jail beginning November 21st, 2024. Credits given for 84 days previously served. So that's time served. I'm going to waive any fines and costs in the matter. I'm going to waive the crime victims' rights fee and the assessment. And so as to 23-01928, it's just the credit for time served, the 84 days. And I will make a similar, Mr. Carson, I'll make a similar ruling on 23-00233. I've had the opportunity to read the pre-sentence report. I'd like to say it's all about me, but it's not. This is the recommendation, okay? And the recommendation is to follow the pre-sentence report. And that would be on 23-02233 to spend 82 days in jail, credits giving for 82 days served. I will waive fines and costs on that file and waive the crime victims' rights fee and $50 fee. So that should at least get you off on somewhat of a clean slate. Also, so that's just the sentencing, time served, and we'll get you a new slate. We won't keep those files open. Those files will be closed. Also, you have a open. This is a final, and I'm going to close this final. You have an open balance to the city of Lansing, all right, and that was based. I think that's a pedestrian violation, item. And if we're going to do this, let's do this completely, okay? Because this file's been open since July of 2023. So I am going to administratively close that file. And that should keep you up completely clean from this slate. Now, if you move forward, you understand that you've got your criminal history, you got time served, you got these, and you're going forward. Okay. I'd much prefer that the model of 2015 between 2022, whatever was working, that's the model you want to follow. All right. You know that, I know that. I mean, with that said to you, Mr. Carson, you're all set. Good luck to you. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Sykes. I'll make those notes. Because I've got two files. So.
Did we get an interpreter on Cologne?
We don't know.
Okay.
Is Mr. Lee here?
I'm handling that.
Are you?
Yeah.
So I was going to wait to hear because we have an interpreter ordered.
Yeah.
But they didn't appear, is my understanding.
Fun.
And so we may be able to, it's a sentencing, right, Mr. Cologne? And so I was going to wait to hear from Mr. Lee or Goodrich, who's covering. We could see if Carlos, the security, is available and Mr. Lee, you might need him, Mr. Goodrich, you might need to talk to him.
My client does speak some English. I
Okay.
will see if Carlos is available.
All right.
I'll go look around.
So I think that was that Carlos could cover if it was something short and we could, but I want to make sure he knows the nature of the sentencing, or we'll just reset it. But I think if Carlos is here and can help us, we'll go that route.
And we do have the victim that's the subject of the no contact order that's present as well. That's hoping to make a statement to the court. She also is going to need some interpretation as well. So
You guys ordered.
we didn't. No, I dropped the ball on that.
All right. So maybe since we have multiple, we can explain we'll explain the adjournment to him.
Well, Your Honor, we really not want to have the matter adjourned. He's sitting in jail and
Right.
we're
Is
trying to
he,
get him out.
if you're okay, we can have the interpreter interpret, not only for,
I would be fine with that.
I
if
have
that
no problem with
all
allows
right,
us to-
all right. Let's see if Carlos is available and see.
Your Honor,
Or Gus.
May Ms. Wilson and I push one other.
Absolutely.
Data real quick.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we're on the record in docket 23-00516. That is People of the State of Michigan versus Earl Wade. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson.
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Mr. Black.
Yeah, Fred Blackman on behalf of Mr. Wade. Mr. Wade is staying to my right at the podium.
And sir, you are Earl Dominic Wade, is that correct? Thank you. This is the time set for a sentencing in the matter. Ms. Wilson, is there any restitution on this case?
There's not, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Blackman, have you had the opportunity to go through the pre-sentence report with your clients?
I have, Your Honor.
Any additions, deletions, or corrections?
No additions or corrections, Judge. Anything that I would add to would be by way of elocution.
Okay. Allocution, Mr. Blackman.
Judge, I see what the recommendation is. It's for a period of probation for 8 months on Zoom and for certain terms and conditions that. Judge, if the history of this case, it's been going on for a period of time because of the forensic center, when we sent Mr. Wade down. I've known him for a while. I know his mother very well. She's on her way up trying to park because of the parking limits this morning. And he's on a Abilify right now. Judge, what was going on at this particular time that he was off his meds and now he's back on him? He looks like he's adjusting and doing very well right now. One thing that I do not want to happen, because I've known Earl and I've known the struggles that he's gone through with this condition, and as evidenced by the forensic material, is to set him up to fail. You know, and I don't know whether or not this is one of these things, since there's been no problem since then. He's now fully on what he needs to be on. I understand why the court would want to put him on probation. I'm just worried about that, about him making sure everything's done on probation. I'm wondering whether the court would consider fines and costs in this matter. Because of what I know that the report talks about, but I've personally seen what's going on with him now, talked with his mother on periods of time, and looks like he's on the right track right now, Judge. So I'd ask the court to take that into consideration.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Wilson, anything towards elocution on the case?
Yes, Your Honor. First, I just want to state that it looks like the witness or the victim in this matter did submit a statement to probation. I just want to make sure the court has had the opportunity to read that.
I have. That was submitted by the victim in the matter, which is
Alicia. No, Ashlyn.
Miss Ash. It's
I can't remember her last name. Yes, Ashlyn.
Ashlyn Gatlin, and there was a no contact order.
There was
as a part of probation.
And in talking with her last night, she expressed to me that she very, very much wants that no contact order to remain in place. Regarding the sentence here, I do think probation is appropriate. While there may have not been any issues during the pendency of the proceedings, I think that there are some rehabilitative measures that could be imposed during probation that were not availed to Mr. Wade during his time on bond, and I think he would benefit from that. So I do think that the recommendation is appropriate, and I would request the court that adopt that recommendation.
Ms. Gatlin, for the record, she indicated that she wrote a half page concerning some of the events that had followed, and that she was in her own home when this happened, things of that nature. Mr. Blackman, you've had the opportunity to share that with us.
I have, Judge. Yeah.
Mr. Wade, is there anything you'd like to say to the court before the court passes sentence? All right.
Mom, and just for the record, his mother.
All right. All right. I've read the judgment of sentence. I completely understand Mr. Blackman's argument here in that that we do not want to create a situation where you're going to violate probation. That said, I also though have to recognize that the victim in this matter is somewhat affected by this activity, and there's simply no other way to put that around that. And the act of putting you on probation develops a no contact order for her, so she'll feel safe. Okay, because for some reason for obvious reasons she doesn't feel safe. Okay, with that understanding, I think I know enough about this case that we can reduce the term of probation in this matter, but we can also make mental health treatment the main focus here. I think that's the
I
main
appreciate
focus.
that, Jeff.
Yeah, I think that is the real and the real question is to comply with the current mental health program that's been set up. If you do that, this doesn't seem to happen. Okay, it's when you get off those meds that all these things seem to happen, and then Mr. Blackman's involved and I'm involved, and we're trying to figure this thing out. Okay, so that's the nature of why I'm ordering some probation, not all probation, but I'm going to have it reflect the nature of what I think is the problem here. All right. So this is for a guilty plea on September 26, 2024, to indecent exposure. We will set. So the order of this court that the defendant spends 365 days in jail beginning November 21st, 24. Credits given for 1 day previously served. Suspend the 364 days upon successful completion of probation. I am going to place you on probation. We're going to hit you with some fines and costs: $100 fine, $100 costs, crime victims' rights fee of $75, state minimum cost fee of $50. I'm going to place you on 6 months probation. So that'll be $180. I'll give you a grand total of that. 200 plus 125 plus 180 equals 505. That, of course, can be paid over the amount of the 6 months. All right. So probation is for 6 months via Zoom. Via Zoom is appropriate. If you want to come in and talk to your probation officer, the report was written by Brendan Hanna, and so he may be your probation officer. If he is, he's a pretty flexible guy. All right. Mr. Hanna is pretty flexible, and I think he'll get the tenure of this, that this is really to keep you on your medication. Okay. That's the nature of this. You're to have no contact with a victim in the case as a part of probation, and that'd be no contact with Ashlyn Gatlin. Yeah. And that's to be within 2,000 feet of her, where she lives, works, goes to school, without consent of this court. All right. No assaultive or threatening behavior. I'm going to strike no use of possession, alcohol, marijuana, or controlled substance without a prescription, because you're on the mental health program. You should stay on that. And if you're violating that, I think alcohol, marijuana are probably going to violate that treatment. Okay. So keep with the mental health treatment. All right. Whatever the mental health treatment is, you keep with that. All right. So I'll strike the no use of possession, alcohol, or marijuana, controlled substance. That also is a finance thing. You've got other things that you need to worry about, and you need to pay for that. So don't worry about that. Submit to random PBTs and urinalysis. I'm going to strike that. All right. So this is really centered around continuing your mental health treatment and staying on the meds. All right. No bars or nightclubs is probably a good idea. All right. So I'm going to keep that. All right. And then complete following rehabilitative services, pays fees, and provide proof of completion. The other is continue with that current mental health treatment. All right. And Mr. Hanna is going to make sure that's part of this for the next 6 months. All right. That is really all, but for the 505 total and the continuing the current mental health treatment, that and no assaultive or threatening behavior, not to possess any purchase or possess firearms, ammunition, or weapons of any kind. Any questions concerning the judgment of sentence, Ms. Wilson?
Does that no contact provision include direct contact?
It's direct or indirect, 2,000 feet.
Thank you, Your
Yes.
Honor.
Any questions, Mr. Blackman?
None, thank you, Judge.
All right. All right. So Mr. Wade, you should be all set. You might want to talk to Mr. Hanna on the 5th floor just to make sure you understand the nature, how you report. And then you might have to sign a waiver concerning the mental health. I'm not sure of that, but he should get an update to the mental health treatment so that he knows what you can and can't do concerning violation of that mental health treatment. All right. All right, you should be all set, Mr. Wade. Thank you for your appearance.
Thank you. So Jake, he should go downstairs right now.
I just to make sure that
Yeah,
Mr.
okay.
Hannah's is
I'll tell mom. to make
All
sure
right.
that happens. Thanks, Judge.
Thank
and then Fred, it
Yeah.
does look like we have the interpreter, for X as well.
Okay, thanks.
Dynamic duo. I know they're chatting it up back
Oh,
there.
no.
So are we going on Mr. Torres or Mr. McElroy?
McElroy would be first, I believe.
All right.
Do we want to handle the other interpreter matter?
That's good because he needs to handle PCC for me. and Judge Buchanan.
All right,
okay.
all right. Just as long as we know where Mr. Milks is gonna be.
He'll be in Judge
He's gonna be in
Buchanan's
Judge
court on a
Buchanan's
different
court, is
reason
he?
we just found out about.
All right.
Plus JSG's coming in. They're gonna
He's
put
your-
an extra monitor on
He's
me.
your friend, Mr. Milks, reportedly. He's
I
your
know,
friend.
I do not, I don't know what mess up competition I won, but
I thought about sticking an air tag on you
Nope.
before, just so I can track you down when I need you.
He
you
wandered.
borrow my wife's.
So we'll go on Mr. McElroy.
Yes, and.
That's Mr. Zaney?
Yes, Mr. Zaney and Ms. Machusko are just, chatting about an evidence issue real
All
quick.
right.
Is that funny?
Yes.
Yeah.
For its other case with the
And it's gonna be long.
interpreters.
I think that's gonna be a little longer.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
so-
gonna be
It's zany, it's always.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's met with his client and he needs to talk to,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I think we
And then I
got,
don't know what Fife is doing.
Big one. Yeah, just as quick as yours.
I don't know what that means, Mr. Mills.
No, he's comparing it to mine. We're
Yeah,
talking late.
yeah, yeah.
Fife.
I don't know what that means.
We're trying to streamline it now, but I do look good on your camera, Judge. I gotta compliment your video.
We're
I believe
we're
so.
going to address some of that because
Oh,
there
you.
there could be, I'm gonna leave it to the litigants to, if we want to zoom it or not. We're on Zoom right now,
Oh,
right?
I just wanna make sure.
I thought I'd warn you of that, but,
It
right.
really
but-
offsets it on this.
But I'm willing, I'm at the request, we'll talk about it. We can, there's no closing of the courtroom, but we kind of lose, we kind of lose
Yup.
who we can have here or not with Zoom, and so I'll let that be discussed.
So we're starting with McElroy.
Yes. That's the plan.
Let me introduce you, Judge Flores. Judge Flores, can I introduce you to somebody?
Yes.
This is Cooper Dobie, he's our new associate at the office.
How do you say your last name, sir?
Dobies, D-O-B-I-E-S.
Cooper Jobies.
Dobies.
Jobies.
Yeah, with a D-E-S.
It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, Your Honor.
He's been at our office for about a year and a half, an associate, just got his P number a couple of weeks ago. And
Yeah.
And what law school did you go to?
Michigan State.
And then you got your P number 2 weeks ago. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
That's kind of a big deal.
it only lasts for like a minute, and then you gotta go to work.
Yeah, and then the rest of the world starts, that test is supposed to get you prepared for the rest of the world, but there's all kinds of variables concerning the rest of the world.
Yep.
I didn't know how to file my first appearance. Dave Myers, when he was at the city attorney in East Lansing, I went to him, say, hey, I need to work out this case. No
Right.
person, no email, none of that stuff.
It's the nature of practicing laws that there's like, you can practice law right now, and then you got to figure out, okay, what do I do? And every court is different.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So good luck.
Thank you, thank you.
Something on my
Bring
brain.
umbrella.
It's gonna be the first time an attorney left the room.
Morning, Your Honor.
Mr.
Good morning,
Pfeiffer
Mr.
wants to put
Pfeiffer.
something on the record real quick.
If me and Mr. Blackman could speak with you real quick, it's not gonna be long.
You're not muted, just so you know. too.
All right, that on